especially Japan. I saw on TV where all the water was coming. There would have been people living in the houses, and they would have no warning.
Oh yeah, there's footage of them running, trying to get away from it. No warning.
And the government doesn't want you to know, because otherwise they have to insure them and pay for them.
Yeah.
So they'd rather those people be dead, so they have to pay for them.
Do you know when that first hit, did you all see the footage of the nuclear reactors exploding?
Yeah.
Okay? Straight away, they went into meltdown. All 6 of them went into meltdown straight away. And what did they tell you? No, it's everything's fine, it's going to do this. And then 2 days later, well, there's been a slight leak, and then bit by bit, they tell you. But they've all gone. They're a mess. It's a total mess.
There was an actual, on YouTube, I think you can find it, there's a doctor, she's Australian, I believe, who sort of went out and explained basically what's happened ever since that meltdown.
Yes.
How we're pretty much already being affected by...
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, totally.
This isn't clean up like you think. You go out and wipe shit down. It's not. You got 10 miles of contaminated area there already. Now, what are you going to wash that down? What do you do with the water? See, when they clean the interior, like at 3 Mile Island, all the water that was used in there, that was put in barrels and hauled off. Okay, this has already escaped the plant. It already is worst case scenario for the people living there. See? Because there's no way to clean it up. There's just no way to clean it up. You can hope for rain to wash a bunch of it into your whatever catchments and stuff you have around there, but 90% of it's going to end up in the ocean, right? That's what's going to happen. See? The spent fuel pool has already been uncovered to a point where it was on fire. All of those little particles are going to have radioactivity attached to them. Okay, I've been contaminated. I know what it's like to have a itty bitty little friggin' one little speck on you and be scrubbed with a brush in soap and water in a shower over and over and over and over and over again until you get a count that says you're free. All right, that's a microscopic little piece of friggin' dust, okay, that got stuck in a pore of your skin. You get scrubbed with a brush in soap and water for hours, or until you test clean. That's it, okay? I've heard of people crapping in jars for a long period of time, okay, getting Geiger counters run over their crap because they got contaminated, all right? I could tell you some horror stories about the nuclear business. You don't need to hear those right now. But I can tell you that this is already incredibly, horribly bad. That no one's talking about this, that the contamination that is now outside the building, the facilities, and on the ground is going to be there. That is going to be contaminated for hundreds of years. If they did their most thorough cleanup possible, it's going to be contaminated for hundreds of years. Some of these isotopes have some long half-lives, okay? If that plutonium... And I'm not sure where it's at because they won't tell us. No one's being clear, right? Is the plutonium in the spent fuel pool? Which reactor is it in? See? If they have a complete meltdown breach of containment, that shit's going into the ocean and the entire Japanese coast. You know what I mean? It comes from Japan and it heads up their coast, all right? Starts at the bottom and goes all the way. From that plant forward, and then you're going to get your outgoing tides, right? All your currents and tides. Both of those are going to move that radiation all over the Sea of Japan and the Pacific. It's going to be everywhere. There's no stopping it now. As far as I'm concerned, the worst has already happened. What we can have next is a humanitarian tragedy, a worldwide catastrophe of world proportions. This isn't about Japan anymore, okay? Japan's gone. That place is contaminated, and they're going to have problems for who knows how long. They're just not going to tell them that it's on the way, right? Kind of how I felt that if the government found out that a meteor was going to strike the planet, they would never tell us. There's no sense. It doesn't even make any sense, and I kind of agree with it in that case. But radiation, no, people can leave. Give people a chance to protect themselves, all right? And now they're filling up all the area around the plant with these water tanks full of this radioactive water that I talked about a long time ago. And I said, if they have to start pumping water into tanks, if they have to start storing that water somewhere, that means that water is continually coming in from another spot. And if it's coming in from another spot, it can be going out from another spot, and that means public water supply, water table contamination, ocean contamination. What they're saying is that, gee, if they have to release this water, that it could have lasting impacts. Listen, they've already released thousands and thousands and thousands of gallons of that contaminated water into the ocean. So, when it shows up in California, they're dumping this stuff in the ocean. Listen, this plant is not going to be under containment for another 35 or 40 years. That's it. It's going to take $50 billion to clean up Japan once this is done. This is a tragedy of earthly proportions, okay? So, I don't see, from a person who was in the industry for many years, I can tell you that their problems are just getting started. They cannot go in and repair the holes where the water's coming in. They can't get close to this stuff, okay? They don't have the robots, they don't have the automated technology to go in and disassemble the fuel pool, puddle, whatever. It's probably just a puddle now, okay, of homogeneous melted material. They don't have any way of removing that. All they can do is cap it off. Now, what are they going to do? Cap it off with all this water flowing in and out of the plant in the basement? No. So yeah, Fukushima, this is like I said, when it happened, this problem is not going away. Sooner or later, within 100 or 200 years, the entire Japanese island chain will be contaminated with radiation. It may not be livable. We'll see. That's how bad it is. Of course, they're not going to tell anybody that. They're not going to say that in the news. That would panic people. That would make people angry. That would ruin the nuclear business all around the world. So that's why you're not hearing about it, okay? Every press on the planet has been told, don't talk about it. So where do you get your information? In print. So, yeah, this is nowhere near over. Nowhere near over.